can't believe I had to fix that. Okay. Oh, man. So the people should be able to hear you. Hello, Hyper. How you doing?
All right, I think we're good. I still might wait a couple more minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure everybody's here. Everybody who will claim that they want to know what's going on and then yet bitch about not knowing what's going on.
I'm going to put an ad.
Shut up, Dan.
I'm going to put ads. Hello.
What's the emergency? Yeah, we've got a fraud here holding up. Okay. Chilling. So, how long is the ad running for?
30 more seconds. All right. I should probably turn off the bracket command, just in case people are like, oh, funny. And it's gone. You're going to be in the top 8 this year? You know what? I believe it. What's up, Andy G? I love the question mark for K Cool. That one was crazy. Soul Panda, hello. And Danny. Yep, we're good to go. You are guaranteed not to have ads for the next 20 minutes. So, hello everybody. How we doing? This is Atlantic Canada's news network for everything fighting game related. And this is definitely related to fighting games. You're looking at the Atlantic Cup finals for Street Fighter 6 for 2025. You get to see the final standings there. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about everybody's standings in Street Fighter 6. And we're going to be talking about some stuff that's going to be coming up pretty soon. So everybody's going to get a shout out for sure. We had so many brackets last year that
we had a really
I definitely
good,
I don't remember all of them.
No, we had a solid year. I think that in terms of what Street Fighter Atlantic Cup was set out to do was definitely accomplished, in that a lot of folks went to events, a lot of folks kind of put their ears up a little more and paid attention a little more and played a little more, traveled a little more, because they wanted to be a part of this thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't always, and we'll get to it later, as you said, it's not always exactly about getting in the final photo shot or the final top whatever. It's just kind of being a part of the scene. That's really what it comes down to. Because not everyone can win everything. And it just comes down to it.
Almost everybody can be there.
Exactly. This is, of course, what we're seeing right now is how it all played out in the playoff and the championship finale.
This is the wackest tournament I'd ever
seen. So I said
unprecedented.
I said to people before, this isn't exactly going to be a recap of every single event. I kind of want to just briefly talk about the season, but we'll if any time we'll talk about anything specifically, it will be about this the championship playoffs, which is pretty great. Pretty great for spectators.
Oh my God,
that's for
absolutely.
sure. It came at like definitely like an interesting time. Um, in terms of, so if we go, I think actually no, we'll stay on here. We'll stay on here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what we'll do. So before I go any further, I just want to I'll briefly outline about everything we're going to talk about tonight. So of course we're talking about the SFAC and like kind of how the SFAC ended, and how it was a good year. And we'll talk again briefly about things and maybe a few folks here and there and improvements and standings and take a look at who finished where and this and that and take a double look because again this is all information I already posted, but we're just gonna go over it.
And we'll talk about
Um,
you, Buddha. Don't you worry.
I mean Buddha's somewhere.
Yeah, oh
His
yeah,
name is somewhere,
he's
yeah, unfortunately.
he's on the job. He's on the clock
So
right now.
again, we'll do, like I said, just a very, very brief analysis of the season and the playoffs. And then we're going to talk about, of course, 2026, which is literally right around the corner, and talk about some little additions and some stuff, some future projects. And yeah, we'll go from there. So what we'll do is, yeah. So this event was pretty dope. For those of you who've forgotten or those of you who just don't know, if anyone new is watching, Street Fighter Atlanta Cup is like a little league we have. The idea was really sprouted by Steam Tank, in terms of like just doing it. In terms of format, I designed it kind of went towards to XKO when you get 8 people for your bracket, Shrub. Or 8 teams, sorry.
Oh, 8 teams.
When you get 8 teams for your bracket, then like we'll take a look at it. We'll take a peek. But when you want to play with the big boys, I'll give you a call. Anyway, so the Street Fighter Atlanta Cup was all based off of like, in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, when Street Fighter competitively was its most fun to watch in terms of seeing who got where.
Yeah.
Really, to me, the very end, the last season of Street Fighter 4 and the earlier seasons of Street Fighter 5 Capcom Cup were very, very interesting to me because the point structures just made sense. It was about people placing well at several tournaments. We all knew who the killers were. I'm not going to get into who the killers were back then. You don't need to know. If you want to know, go find out. But everyone knew who was going to win this event or that event. But it was all about fighting for those top spots. Because before, everyone's like, oh, who cares? So-and-so won the event, so who cares about who gets second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh? Well, guess what? If in the competitive spirit, you need to make a league where that kind of matters. And that's what they did. They did that shit. And that was so cool to watch. As someone who watches competitive sports, who's really into the like league stats and player improvement, and like I like seeing that. That makes sense because not everyone. If you just create this air where you purely have to win, you have to get first place.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand that as a 1v1 format. I do. I really do. But there needs to be something for everybody. It's got to be more than just social interaction, which is great, mind you. It's great. I'll talk about it until I'm blue in the face. Where I love the fact that I can, be a part of this hobby with like-minded individuals who also like this hobby, and we can discuss from there. I like that. That's good. It's a good thing. But we need a little more, and that's exactly provided what I thought. And what has since been a lot of people have complimented. They say they like it. They're a fan of it. It's not how, now, I'm not going to shoot anything at anybody, but it's not how the Smashers do it exactly. The Smashers are crazy. They're like, we have a true stat. We have the Smash Panda Elo Super Bumpkin.
Oh no, that died.
Ratio
they
website.
killed that. They had to bring it back to something else.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean, though. Oh, we have the weird luminosity stat. I don't like luminosity. Well, we have the true skill stat. I don't like true skill. Well, we have the super Elon Musk stat. I don't like Elon Musk. Well, you know what I mean? There's a million different things. What's your super hidden true Elo? I think it's 5. Which is like 5 times better than Buddha's.
That's rough.
I didn't like that. I don't think that's sensical. Now, Smashers will come to here and say, you don't know what you're talking about, which is fine. That's fine. That's fine to do things the way you want to do it. But one of the things is, if this was something I'm going to put my time and effort into organizing, I want it to look appealing. I want it to, or as appealing as I can make it, with given the resources I have, and I want it to make sense. And I've talked to a lot of people who participated along with me in this brand experiment, and a lot of people have given me a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people have given me negative feedback, but it's been 99.99% constructive. And because it's been constructive, we've been able to change a few things along the way between like last season and this. For example, like from 2024 to 2025, we changed a lot of things, and we felt that in 2025, a lot of those quote unquote issues got addressed, and a lot of those people who weren't happy were a lot more happy. Of course, like, that comes with transparency of information, but that's kind of a bit of a different topic, but you get the point. So yeah, it was just great to see how it all played out. Of course, in the final 11 make it in the LCQ. Brandon winning the LCQ from PEI was huge.
That
It
was
a crazy
ginormous.
battle. He had to fight through Moncton's finest in Buddha and Jumpstorm, aka James Storm, and it was crazy. Like, I said it before going in, and I'll say it again. I think it's just the LCQ is probably the best thing we show, because it's people who are desperate. It's people who don't always get the spotlight. They know it. They're aware of it. These people who are playing aren't stupid. They're aware of it, and they know they got to squeeze that last little bit. They got to get it out there. Like, so I'll give a big shout outs to Joey, aka Cross from Newfoundland, who also helped a lot with the stats keeping. I want to thank him. He had some amazing sets.
He did.
And I could tell the reason he had those amazing sets is because he knew. He's like, this is it. I got no other chance. It's here or now. And
It's
he
now
didn't
or
make
never.
it by like the skin of his teeth, which was, which is heartbreaking to see, but he gave it his all, and it was exciting to watch. And he's a Newfoundland guy, so the Newfie boys were cheering him on. It was great. I love that stuff. And that it's hard for a guy from Newfoundland to come to the mainland. So to have that interaction, that to me is a big example of what the SFAC is all about. But yeah, and of course the finals was crazy. Going into it, I don't want to air my own nonsense. I was super sick. I never call in work sick. I think I called into work 3 days straight.
We call this John's in the if you've ever.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about it already with everybody that was involved, but like, I wish I could have performed better, but that's not here or nor there. It all comes down to who hits the buttons on the day of. That's the whole point. I've stressed that a lot with a lot of people, because it's happened earlier with different people when certain results are strange, and they're like, how did this happen? I'm like, well, that person hit buttons and that person didn't hit buttons well. It's just what it comes down to. It can be an unfortunate reality, but it's what it comes down to. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, for the most part, I believe it comes down to consistency and who is the most consistent, who has a consistent game plan. Guess what? People like, how did Colossus get third? Well, he's got a consistent game plan. He plays like a fucking nut all the time, but he's gotten a lot better. Caribou, plays Marissa, and people dog him for that, but he's got a consistent game plan, and it worked out for him. Great.
Absolutely.
Ollie had some good looks. Dan had some good looks. And I can't just credit Shotmaker. He had some really good looks. He had to play with his heart on the line, and he really did. He just put everything out there, and he's like, this is what I got. And it landed him a really nice fourth place spot, which is great on him. And of course, Hallie ended up winning. And that's the point. Hallie out of everybody. And I'll say he was undefeated this season, which is true. But some nerd is going to, well, actually, we reset him that one time. I'm like, yes, I'm very aware he did get reset that one time, but he still won. And to me, in my opinion, that means he's undefeated. Because he's a good player. He's a really good player. He's a really solid player. He's a consistent player. His neutral's ridiculous. His whiff punishing is ridiculous. He plays Cammy the way you got to play Cammy. He plays Mai the way you got to play Mai. And I think the championship should go to no one other than whoever is the most consistent. Of course, there may have been some people who were sour that he's a dude who's here. Like I said, I'm not going to dox him, but he's a dude who's here for work. Mind you, he's going to be here for a while, but
Yeah.
you know, it kind of maybe left some people like, oh, like it's not. It should have went to someone who's been living here for some time. But he is part of the community in every way, which
Yeah.
anyone who just comes and signs up and wants to play the game is
And
a part of the
there's only one
you
person
know.
who gets to make that choice, and that's the person who's playing, right? So you can't.
Um, yeah, no, he's a solid player, and personally, I hope to see him play. I want to play him more. There was a couple of times I remember I played Beast. I wanted to play him, and it just didn't work out. And there's a couple of times where I wanted to play him offline, it just didn't work out. Like I'll give you a real quick example. The FF8 or 9, where I went to do commentary. I wanted to actually play him in casuals, and then I remember I had to go do something, and I was looking for him because I knew what he looked like, and I was like, oh, what? And then I went to go talk to somebody, and then I went to start doing comms, and that's when I saw him sit down, and I was like, oh, god damn it. But anyway, yeah, he's a heck of a player, you know, good guy, you know, and why Keiko a question mark? Because he is an enigma. But yeah, no, the Street Fighter, the Cup finals were great. They were real good, and like I said, I had some great conversations with Baker, aka Shotmaker, at the end, about like, yeah, man, like, don't let jerks say, oh, he shouldn't have won, he shouldn't have got that far. Nah, you get as far as you deserve to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot, I'd say, I'll always plug this. Beast of the East started with Shotmaker. It's not something I created. It's not something you created. A lot of people a lot of the newer folks forget that or don't know that. It was Shotmaker from Newfoundland, who during the middle of COVID said, you know what, we got to stick together. We do have a great scene. A lot of people didn't like Street Fighter V in launch. I don't blame them. It had a terrible launch. And it was on him who said, you know what, we have an amazing scene here. We really do. There's a mix of old generation Street Fighter players and new generation Street Fighter players, and they want to play this game.
But we don't want to play in like some Eastern Canada bracket that's not even like, Eastern Canada because it's in the middle of the fucking continent in Ontario, and then you're like,
there was, you know, back then
my connection
back then,
also is with some people from Florida can join, and I don't want to get like O2'd by two motherfuckers who are like, yeah, you got to check your dashes in 25 frames of delay. You're like,
there was,
I want to do something local.
It wasn't. I won't out them because it wasn't their fault. But there was. Anyone can put two together, but I'll just say it like this: there was a tournament that was touted as a Canadian weekly, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I went to play in it, and then my first match was a dude from Florida, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. I thought we were just Canadians, not of anything of any nationality perspective, but just from connection perspective, because the connection in Street Fighter V was ass. So I'm like, oh, I'm playing a guy all the way from Florida, okay. And then he beat me by the skin of his teeth, and it was unimaginably laggy, and I'm like, that was just awful. And then I heard Baker was putting together a thing, and he wanted Atlantic Canadians, only Atlantic Canadians. So we boiled down the connection so it's not as bad as it could be. Yes, it still wasn't great, but it was mitigated as much as we could, and it was good. We had Atlantic Canadians playing each other, getting to know each other. That's how we found Unholy Hess and Colossus that way.
It's true. It's true.
Purely, and other people too. Carrie, there's the Carrie.
And Carrie, yeah.
You know, like there are some people who I wouldn't know, literally. Like maybe you could argue, oh well, when COVID ended, they probably would have came out. Yeah, well, we don't know that. You know, great friends.
I'm willing to bet it wouldn't have happened if they weren't a part of it already. Like, goddamn.
Some incredible friends I've met because of BC.
I will say we debated whether or not to put a question mark or Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the as the character for the seventh character for Keiko, because he did play 3 different characters. He played the full team.
I mean, I'm sure, you know, Declan will poke fun out of it, and I don't really care. But you know, he wasn't feeling Street Fighter. It just wasn't. That's totally fine. It's you as a person to want to know what you want to play and how you want to play it. And he actually said he didn't want to play it, but he said he'll play because he didn't make it, and he knew it was kind of, you know, a bit of a, you know, Just play some games. He did play some games, and then went back to playing Marvel because that's what he wants to play, and there's nothing wrong with that. Still got 7th. Had a very good season overall, of course, but that's what makes Declan a good player. He doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to play games. Whether or not he wins, comes out on top, or does a really good Street Fighter dead. Don't know what you're saying, Malik. Malik, I think Halifax is dead because you have yet to given me what happened today in Halifax. But then I keep forgetting that you get wasted after every bracket and don't message me until like 3 a.m. You and Kazak, man, you gotta put the drink down, homie. Put the stock down. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about how Halifax
can't put down the cup, huh? Is that what's
no,
I'm
not gonna prolong this with how fraudulent Halifax is. We all know how fraudulent. But maybe DK Church too. Well, Declan, I always like you for it. You're a good sport, and like I said, hell of a player no matter what you play. And I'm glad seeing you play Marvel. I love watching Marvel. I really do. Marvel. I'm not gonna get into it, but Marvel is my favorite game to watch. It just is. I love seeing it. I love the nonsense to it. In a good way. There's good things about Marvel. There are some awful things about Marvel, especially Marvel 3, Ultimate Marvel 3. But I love watching it. I really do. But yeah, we'll keep going. And what we'll do is, so now we're gonna. That was the 2026 championships. So we're just gonna briefly talk about just the season and where some players ended up.
Yes, so, absolutely.
We're gonna go to each province. Yeah. So what we did is we divvied up. This is what you're looking at right now on screen is the finals, and we're gonna go from province to province and how each player ended up at top 8 in the season. So of course this is for New Brunswick. We got.
This is just the total standings just before. In order to get
before
here.
The LCQ. So when everything was said and done, when the points were said and done, the top 8 of each province. We gotta go back.
Oh, we're going back.
Yeah. You have it on auto?
No, I'm controlling it. I'm just
okay.
I'm figuring out where we're going.
So yeah, no, we're just gonna go to New Brunswick and then we're gonna go to the rest of the provinces.
NB.
Yeah, NB. We're gonna start with NB. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah. So of course, New Brunswick. After it was all said and done, we had Sycris coming in first, with big points. Colossus coming in second. Big P coming in third. Big P, big story. Had a really good showing at the very beginning of the year at T-Land, and then kind of took a big break, and then the last like 2 to 3 months really put the work back in, and got a really good point standing there. Hallie, of course, coming in. I want to say 3 to 4 months out of the out of Big P. He did have that big loss. You're right, Hyper. He did. But Hallie coming in about 3 to 4 months out. Coming into the competition rather. He was here a little earlier than that, or a little longer than that rather. And of course, that undefeated streak netted him a groovy 110 points, just right behind Big P. And then of course, to round it out at the bottom, we have some of the Moncton heroes. Salty, who really got a lot of points in the last 2 months. He really did. 93, 13th, right out of the SFAC top 12, top 11 rather. Buddha himself got 81 points, and a big shout out to the man with the hat, actual Shadow Wizard, aka
wearing
Paul,
many hats.
Man of many hats, Paul, who he played a good amount at the beginning, first maybe 4 months of the season, then kind of I got a lot of priorities. He's doing a lot of school work, doing a lot of work, doing a lot of other stuff too. Just busy guy. Said, I'm going to take a break, and still managed to get 7th in the top 8 for the SFAC New Brunswick. Great stuff from Paul. Love that guy. And of course, Captain Canuck. Big up and comer from NB, who I may say, some of you may be wondering, where's Nathan C? Captain Canuck edged out Nathan C by just about a couple of points.
Yeah, it was by one barrel, man, just barely.
Yeah. Now Nathan C kind of limited himself a bit to kind of just ready events and some of the RSC events. Didn't play a lot too much online. However, that's where Captain Canuck cashed in a lot of his points. He played in a lot of Beasts of the East. And all those people get mad. I only got 7th, I only got 5th. Guess what? That shit adds up, and that's exactly how Captain Canuck was able to get on the top 8 at the end of the year for New Brunswick. Just
Yeah.
because of that.
Goddamn. 10 King, if you sign up for every
8?
Beasts in 2026 and never show up to any of them, I will come to your house.
2. Maybe like 1 or 2, but of course, like I'll tell Buddha to inject. You know what? We'll save that for later. Buddha knows what I mean. So we're gonna go to the next province now. So that was New Brunswick. Great shout out to New Brunswick.
And it's a little less clear than the other one, but you know what?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Newfoundland's a land of mystery. You know.
We saw these were all supposed to be made the same way, and I don't know why this and the Nova Scotia one are like kind of blurry. The quality just dipped, so it's just crazy. But again, still legible, and we're gonna go through it. So of course, first place, big shout outs to Shotmaker, first place from Newfoundland, big points, 141, and of course had a big ending at the end of the year in the championships. Of course, big shout outs to Alton. Now, Alton did make the SFAC championships.
Yes.
However, he unfortunately couldn't make it at the end. He was too busy, had to DQ. And like, it was just like, people get busy. It was that time of the year too. It was December. And he's a great player. So that spot ended up going to, incidentally enough, the 3rd place in Newfoundland as well. Cross, aka Joey, who tried his best, did perform great. And of course, big shout out to Rahem. Rahem really making those those Tekken refugee memes last, because he came from Tekken, and man, real solid player. A lot of the newbies talk this guy up, big up and comer, and he plays super well. Just big stuff coming in there, 4th place. Now tied with him was actually Crush Rogers. We'll kind of got to squint to see him at 5th place, but he's there.
Yeah, you see it. You see it.
Crush Rogers basically accumulated most of his points, I think all of them almost, from his very good placing at T-Lan at the beginning of the year. And then after that, I think he may have played in 1 or 2 events in Newfoundland, and then kind of said, you know what, I'm going to put Street Fighter aside, focus on some other things, which, we all respect it. It comes, all of us, whether we lose interest or we seek interest in other things, it is what it is. But he had still, despite all that, given his performances, was still able to net a solid 5th place spot, tied for 4th, really. T is tied with Rahem with points at both of them at 89. So big stuff. Just a hell of a legacy player from Newfoundland. Hell of a good guy too. And of course, at 5th place, Kells. Kells is a solid player. I love playing against Kells. So I actually play against him a lot online, because he's kind of like me. He's on it like crazy hours. And, he's just a crazy geef player. So big shouts to Kells. Also, big Melee player. I think he got 3rd or 4th at KOH. Something ridiculous for Melee. He's an incredible player. Multi-game aficionado.
Multifaceted.
And of course, rounding it out, big shouts to Saucy. Solid Newfoundland gamer. The Chun-Li also was in there last year. And, of course, love the name.
Our only Chun, I think, in these top 8s?
Our only, yes, I do believe Saucy is our only Chun in the top 8. So, a bit of a rare character, but, they do things differently in Newfoundland. And, of course, we got to round it out with the artist formerly known as Nude and Confused, reformed as Big Moist
Royce.
The BMR. And I got to say, shout out to Big Moist Royce for rounding it out. He got there just barely. In the last couple of Newfoundland events, he was able to get some good placings. He outplaced Chronic, who is also a solid Tekken player, by just a couple of points to make that 7th place. And a few other players. A player from Ottawa who came down to Newfoundland, who's there for school. His name is Tonks, plays Guile, I believe. He was also very close there. So big shout out to Big Moist Royce. And I want to also give him a big shout out, because he's like the Newfoundland human bot. Whenever there's a new person who joins the Newfie Discord, he always tells them, hey, this is what we do, this is where we meet, this is what we, our locals are here, our locals, St. John's, Memorial University, this and that. And he's a solid guy for doing that. So big shouts to everyone. Again, Newfoundland, place of magical things. And I think we'll go to the next province, which also was another image that got scrambled, I think.
A little bit. The
A
one
little
you
bit.
can barely see is Prince Channing.
But we all know Prince Channing is.
Oh,
Shout out
absolutely.
to the Scotians. You know, Scotians, of course, uh, had a really solid year. Big shout outs to Olipop, you know, leading the pack, coming in, doing a solid placing. Of course, Caribou, really on his heels throughout most of the season. Ollie had some good placings towards the latter half of the year, which kind of made him pull away from Caribou. But Caribou really turned it on in the championships. You know, that big second place was a big thing for him. Also, big shout out to D-Turn. D-Turn, again, another guy who got a lot of points through Beast of the East. And, you know, he did show up a lot regularly to the Halifax events whenever there were some. So, you know, good guy. He's from Saskatoon. From crazy, though. He spent a lot of time living in Asia, too. But if anyone, people always ask where that flag is. It's actually, not Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
And of course, Brackett, who's also here. He's been here for years for school from Ontario.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know, solid fourth place with the Lily. Kind of, you know, took a break towards the latter half of the year. But you know,
Still, those solid
player.
placements, they
really,
get you.
Exactly. You know, those solid placements, they do get you. They get
You're about to see it. One good placement can just like shoot you up the ranks like nobody's business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Prince Channing again, rounding up. We all know Prince Channing is Prince Channing. You know, is this great guy to be around, funny guy. I love him.
Yeah, we love our Haligonians.
It's crazy. It's crazy watching. I still love watching Prince Channing play, and like he'll get like a crazy dream sequence out of nowhere. It's just fun watching him play. Of course, Old Dog. Big shout out to Old Dog.
Oh,
Old
100%.
Dog, old Street Fighter V legend. Great guy, big guy, real busy guy too. You know, I was talking about he's got to take care of his kids and whatnot, and sometimes brings his kid around. You know, kids, multiple, plural. You know, hell of a guy. Great to see him around. Good to see that his name got in the top 8 there. You know, good stuff. Same thing with Kincaid. Kincaid, you know, one of those guys that a lot of the Haligonians talk up. You know, this guy, you know, if just had a little more dimension, he'd be crazy. And he had some really good kind of flares of brilliance. I remember there was one Beasts where I think he took like Caribou and Ollie to like Game 5 last round, and everyone talked about it for a while. And you know, it's good to have a solid player. And there's going to be a big asterisk here. Big shout outs to Joe Star, who got here, 38 points, 31st. Now he is tied in I want to say this correctly, a 4-way tie for 31st.
Jeez.
And 3 of those people were from Nova Scotia. So all of those people were Joe Star, Hakana from New Glasgow, Joe Broda from New Glasgow, and of course, Solar Flare.
Oh yeah.
Now, Solar Flare. Sorry, I talked to everybody, and some of them didn't really mind how I divvied it up. So we came up with the idea of, okay, we knew everyone, well, mostly everyone, not everyone, was going to play in the LCQ. So we came up with the idea, whoever places furthest in the LCQ will get the final 31st spot, and will get 7th in Nova Scotia amongst the 3. Not Solar Flare because he's from New Brunswick.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, some of them couldn't show up, but that ended up going to Joe Star. So, you know, big shout out to Joe Star, who literally by the skin of his absolute teeth was able to get into the top 8 of the SFAC for Nova Scotia. So, you know, big ups to him. You know, Joe Star, listen, Joe Star is crazy. He plays almost every game, and at big events, like you have to watch. This guy's a landmine. I've said this before. Like, I remember, like, I don't know if it was last T-Land or T-Land before. He got like something. He placed super well in Smash, and then he placed super well in Street Fighter, and he placed like really well in Tekken. Like it was crazy. Like sometimes
multiple dimensions. He's a multi-dimensional being.
Has this way of just I guess I describe it as playing the player, like really well, and it almost doesn't matter what he's playing. He just, you know, he can just do that, and it's just crazy. So, again, big ups to Joestar. Always a pleasure. And that was, that rounds up the Nova Scotia top 8. And of course, Joe Broda and Hakana were right there. They were right there, but
very, very close.
Big shouts to New Glasgow, up and coming. That's for sure.
And of course the PEI image is high quality. You can't have anything else.
Listen,
and who's this?
I don't know.
Who the hell is that?
Again, I made all these images at once. I literally have no idea how some of them just didn't turn out good. So yeah, I want to first off, I want a big shout out to all the boys, my boys, Execution. People still talk about this guy. It's great. They talk about him like
we still talk about it.
Like where's the Manda? He's there in our hearts. The real answer is he's playing 2XKO.
Yes, or Pokemon card games, or something.
He's engrossed.
Riftbound.
So again, I want to give a big shout out to Wingnut. Local Luke, big man Luke, playing Terry, playing Luke, playing the God. Kind of stuck his guns with Terry a little bit. Sorry, at the end of the season. Ampersand, man, love playing this guy.
The local legend. Exclusively local. He is a regional variant. You cannot fight him unless you come here.
You can't experience playing this guy unless you come here. That's why I love whenever we do big events. I'm like, oh shit, Brett's gonna play someone off island and piss him off because they won't know how to beat him. It's gonna be so good.
Out of all the Kimberleys I have played, he is definitely like the most different. Like, I don't know how to describe.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. His whiff punishing ability is like actually nonsensical. Like he'll just decide to do it. It's funny, and it'll just work. Of course,
and then you'll see me up there just
Cal, you had some
in.
Good moments. You had some good moments this season.
There was that one tournament in New Glasgow or something that I just I got second.
Shoutouts to Broda's Barracks,
and
man.
Then that was it. That was everything I needed.
I remember I talked about that later because people talked about like, yo, Cal at number 2, what's going on? And I said, listen, he had to beat Joe Broda, then he beat Beautiful Ryan, who's like legit. Beautiful Ryan isn't bad. He's a good player. And I was like, yeah, Cal was on that shit.
Okay, sure. Whatever.
And of course, the top 4, aside from myself,
everybody knows these 4.
I love these guys. Big shout-outs to Brandon, who ended up winning the LCQ. Again,
yes.
Solid melee player. We see him at the Melee Weekly. And just a solid player. Good whip punishing, good fundamentals. Love watching him play. Solid guy. Quiet guy, stoic guy. But, big part of PEI scene. Love him. And of course, big shout-outs to my boy South, who, was
100%.
super busy this year. He spent a lot of time focusing on his studies. That shit means a lot to him.
He's bettering himself.
Towards the end of the season, he did go to some events and play the championship, and he was like, I'm not really feeling it, but I'm gonna give it, a solid try. And that's, I love that shit. Him and Declan, they were like, we're not gonna bust her out. We're gonna give it, we're gonna trudge through, and we're gonna get through this thing. And I'm like, that's good. It's good. It's a good mentality to have, for that age. I know they probably hate it, when I try to refer to them as that age, but they're significantly younger than I am. But they're good guys. They really are. Busy guys that do other things as well, and it's great. I talk about Declan all the time because he's a solid player. He really is, and it's good to see him. When he is having fun playing Street Fighter and when he's having fun playing Marvel. Because like I said, I love watching Marvel. And yeah, I was just it was just good. It was good to see. I think last year too, we had a lot of Islanders. Big shouts to AJC, who was with us last year. We had to move to Winnipeg,
here, but is
same with Soul Panda, who
here with
Soul
us in spirit.
Soul Panda moved back. Actually, funny enough, I told people this, but yeah, he left in the middle of the season. And if he was still here, technically his points would be on here. I think he unfortunately would have knocked Execution out. But Soul Panda, solid player, and it's going to be great. Hopefully, he has some free time to play a lot this season, and beyond. Because Soul Panda, I love it when we have Soul Panda around. He's just a great guy, funny as hell.
He's so fucking funny, dude.
International man of mystery. Does he love Starbucks? I don't know. I thought he did, then he didn't, and then I got him some, and he didn't want some, and
he didn't want it. People
I
should have
bought
had to
so
take it,
okay. So
honestly.
for those of you who don't know, it's like the idea is like we're always joke each other like when you're Starbucks, when you're getting me Starbucks, when you're getting me Starbucks. Like if you come to the weekly, I'll get you Starbucks. And then we had a big event in PEI. I was like, if you come, I'll get you Starbucks. So I got like the most audacious, like $15 macchiato caramel
Oh
whatever from
no.
Starbucks, and I'm like, here, man, here you go. And he's like, I don't like Starbucks, and I'm like, oh my god. So then I had to drink it because I didn't want to waste
That's
money, and it was
that
like
is so
kind of,
funny.
it was okay. But yeah,
This fucking guy.
he's hilarious to be around. I love being around him.
He's in the
Um,
chat. He's somewhere.
oh yeah, he's definitely somewhere. He's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's how each province shaped up. So now we're gonna look at the
We can look at the
briefly,
big.
yeah, the overall big statistics where the numbers all played out because I kind of want to not evaluate, but show how close some of these guys really were, like really, and how kind of all stacked up at the end. So yeah, here we are, SFAC leaderboard. Now ignore the Discord tag. There was a point where we were gonna log everyone's Discord tag, but it became too tedious and it not kind of unnecessary because it's not like there are people we couldn't find. We could find everybody because Atlanta Canada. So at the end of the season, this is how it all played out in terms of points. And as you can see, Alton couldn't make it, and Cross, who was just literally 1 point away, ended up making it because Alton couldn't make it, because that's the rule. For those of you who don't know, if someone at the end, before the championships, if someone tells me they can't make it, their spot is replaced by the next person in line points. So that would be the 12th spot by default, which so happened to be Crossed and so happened to be Alton. So it was just kind of like a little boop, a little switch. And Brandon, who, if we scroll down a bit, was way down there in points. You know, he was a grinder, that's for sure. But that just goes to show, you know, how much of a jump the LCQ can give you. You just get in there. It's your ticket. So yeah, you know, Salty again, kind of like leapfrogged his way. If we scroll down a bit,
Oh yeah.
over a lot of those players, you know, like I said, Crush Rogers was just kind of there from his placings at T-Land, but Rahem really stepped it up towards the end, got good placings. Shout outs to Kells too. D-Turn, like that's what I mean. Like if you look at these players, all of a sudden, some of those fourth places turn to third places, some of those fifth places turn to fourth
It's
places.
so close. It's
all
like
of a sudden, you can look at a much different type of season, and it just shows where you all stack up. You know, like Buddha, you know, he had some big jumps towards the end. You know, passing up, getting close to bracket, tying with Saucy. Like I said, Chronic just barely being edged out. You know, 9 points out by Big Moist Royce, and you can see there, Captain Canuck just ahead of Nathan C. Just barely. Prince Channing there, Tonks is there from Newfoundland. Danny Kuma, you know, we all love Danny. I want to say Danny. A lot of people were like, "Yo, where's Danny?" And you know, Danny was in Vietnam for a big part of the year, and you know, like I said, he's a solid player. Played well in the LCQ, and a lot of people, you know, all the Freddie guys talked Danny up, and you know, to Danny and myself, a great guy to be around.
yeah, absolutely.
Solid, super solid player. You know, and it's kind of the area where he ended up, you know, there with Old Dog, Kincaid, Trust Solar Flare. As we can see, that huge pile up at 38. The Solar Flare, Joe Star, Joe Broda, Hakana. We go down there. There's James Storm. And I think right below James Storm is LV Deceptions.
LV,
You know, who kind of he came, you know, he just came by, kind of flirted around with playing the game a bit. You know, that's kind of just the guy he is. He's a busy guy, but you know, every now and then you get that competitive itch. You just want to play some games, play some brackets. You know, that's just what LV does. You know, solid player. Shout out to Brandon who won the LCQ. Good Eye Closed, solid player from Cape Breton. Lily player from Cape Breton, came around a lot and kind of just, you know, got busy, but you know, played a lot in the first half of the season, and second half wasn't there too much.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of this just because of like attendance matters so much. I consider like a lot of these people where I am in a higher placement. I do not consider myself better than a lot of them.
Well, yeah.
But I
Again,
went to fucking everything that needed to be streamed, and then 31 points just sort of happened.
I mean, that's the thing, right? You travel and you play, and you see how these points accumulate. And there's a lot of guys, we're gonna start to see where some of these folks, oh yeah, like they were just kind of there at the events. But that's what you got to be. You got to be there.
You got to be there in order to get points,
you got to
man.
be there. So there's a
you got
lot
to be
of
there to
players
win.
here, and there's a lot of players here too. Like as we get down, like the 20 and below, a lot of these players are grinders. Players like they got a lot of these points by like getting 7th and 5th at beasts or 7th and 5th at offlines, smaller locals, and tried their best. And that's what it's all about. Giving them something at the end of the day, and just give them something. And there's a lot of players. We scroll down. We had just to briefly go over it. I'm not gonna go to the weeds, but there's a lot of players. There's a lot of players on this list, and a lot of players who came out just to help the scene a bit. And if we go down to the bottom, we have I think over 100 if you tally it out.
Yeah, it would be 106.
We have over 106 players. Over 106 unique players who said, "Fuck it, yeah, I'll enter." And and if we scroll all the way, to the middle, if we scroll all the way to the middle and beyond.
Shouts to everybody at 69th place. Shouts to Crimbus Bimbus. I'll put the emote in the chat.
Yes, Crimbus Bimbus. The idea is we just want people to be a part of something. And they don't need to care. You don't need to care about your points.
No.
You don't need to. It's not about that.
We will force you to be a part of something if you decide to show up. That's kind of how you're in it. It just requires your participation.
People always. One thing that whenever I talk about what the scene is, what are scenes like? What's your scene like? It's a thing you hear a lot when people visit or people are coming here for the first time. What's a scene like? What and it's hard to quantify things. It's hard to quantify things because I want to say the scene's great, which it is. I don't want to say it's big, which it is. The Street Fighter scene, at the very least, got incredible attendance last year, at almost everything. And some people are like where's the math? And I tell people oh, this is the entrance. Well, actually, we're in this part of Canada, we actually get more entrants. And I'm like, yes, in your part of Canada where you have literally millions of human beings. Yes, I hope so. I really do hope you would get more entrants.
I hope you get more people. I would be sad if you got less.
We live in such a wide area that is geographically a mess.
And we're dispersed.
Our weather is messed up. We're all dispersed. And yet, despite all of those things, we can manage to come together and put on a show or play some games, hit some buttons, and forget about maybe the world around us for a brief moment and partake in a decent hobby with similar-minded individuals who both share our passion, whether how large or not, for this hobby. And that is
really
what
care about something.
That's what it's all about. And like I said, I've had this conversation about competition with some people. You can care a lot. You can care very little. It's okay. There's no right or wrong answer to that. There isn't, and that doesn't apply to Street Fighter. That's a life thing. But it's good to sit down and perform this hobby. I think it's always been cool to me. It's always been therapeutic to me. It's just nice. And this was before I was ever any good. Despite the fact that some people say I am now, and that's here or there. But before I was ever anything, before I could do a proper quarter circle, which I still kind of can't, I knew this was a cool thing that I wanted to be a part of, regardless if I was winning or not, or doing well, for that matter. So with that being said, that was 2026.
That was 2026.
Or 2025. Yes, you were right. I'm too ahead of myself.
It's okay. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
was great. It was much bigger than 2024. And like I
Oh
said in
my
the beginning,
God, so much bigger.
in the beginning of this video, we took a lot of our criticisms and our feedback from 2024 and applied it to 2025. And I felt like we answered pretty much almost every single one of those. I wouldn't say complaints, but just observations and suggestions. So, with that being said, what do we have to look for?
What do we have to look forward to?
What is 2026 going to look like? Well, we before we talk about events, I will talk very briefly about point structure. So, point structure, in my opinion, going into last year, we spent a lot of time devising it up, where it's A tiers, 40 plus entrants, 60, and then we have two S tier events a year. That's T-Land and KOH, and that makes sense because that's just kind of how Atlantic Canada has been. And if there are any events out there that'll get over 40 people, they deserve to get some good points. B tier 30-39, C tier 20-29, D tier is 8 people to 19, and of course, online is just the like kind of lower than D tier, I guess, and like online tier. And if it's ever doubled if it ever gets 20 or above, it'll be worth double. Now, going into 2026, this is a few things we're going to change. Not much, just a few things.
Okay.
So, for the onlines, we're gonna massage the number of 20 down just a little bit. We're gonna do it to 18 because 18, I went to a lot of the beasts last year, and the only one that went over 20 was the season opener.
Yeah.
However, we had about, I think, 5 or 6 out of the whole year that hit 18 and 19, and the rest like kind of weren't close. Not, I don't want to say not close, but like the rest were stagnant. They were either like 8 or like 15. So that way, if we now to remind you guys, if it's at 20, it's worth double points. So first place gets 20 instead of 10, and 7th place gets 4 instead of 2, and in that event, 9th place will get 2 points as well. So we're just moving the goalpost back a bit. Instead of requiring 20 entrants, we're gonna tone it down to 18, which I think is fair. Because if I look at the same numbers again, then all we're gonna do is just reward the players for coming out. That's really what it comes down to: is rewarding players for coming out, for supporting the scene. Now that's a very little minor thing. Now there's not going to be a whole long list of changes. There's really just kind of 2. That was one of them, very small one. And here's the next big one. Now, you people who are in Discords, yes, that is for beasts. That is for beasts. So here's the next big thing that will change some things, I find, for the better. So last year, it was no surprise, and this was all thoroughly explained, but it's good to rehash it. Newfoundland, they have a rotational weekly.
Yeah.
However, they don't have a lot of events in Newfoundland. So to kind of compensate and to give their local players a chance to get on board, is their like rotational weeklies were kind of considered like pseudo monthlies. So they were eligible for SFAC points. That's how we did it last year, and it was good. We got a lot of more Newfoundlanders interested in the game. Or rather, not interested in the game. Let me rephrase that. Interested in competing in the SFAC. And we're able to look at the leaderboards a little more, like, oh, that's where I place. That's where I place. And it was good. It was overall a very good, beneficial thing. Now, towards the end of the year, I talked with a lot of players from a lot of different weeklies, and we kind of noticed that there was, in terms of like the top 3, top 4 players, it's usually the, kind of the usual suspects. But in the bottom 4, there was a lot of players we saw that only played at the locals, and some of these players didn't always travel or played online that much. They were like local, very like weekly heroes.
Yeah.
I want to say local heroes, but that almost sounds provincial. Like, these are like guys you only see at the weeklies. Nothing wrong with that, mind you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's something we saw was a pattern. So we thought, as we're moving into 2026, PEI, our weekly, also adopted a similar facet in how Newfoundland does their weeklies. We rotate. We rotate. In 1 week we do these 2 games. 1 week we do this game. The next week after that we do those games. So it kind of winds up that once a month we do Street Fighter. So then that got me thinking, what if we extend that to every weekly, every established weekly we have in Atlantic, Canada? Now, that includes Halifax, Dow Dungeon, UDM, La Hub at Moncton, SJ Reversal in St. John, New Brunswick, GDS every Friday at Fredericton.
Goddamn.
And, of course, that extends to Broda Brackets, or New Glasgow Barracks in New Glasgow, Island over drive-through in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and harkens back to the SGS in St. John, Newfoundland. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to update this. I'm going to tell all the TOs in later tonight. Exactly, I'm going to tell you guys. Every month, at the beginning of every month, starting in February, not this month. This month won't count. Starting in February, each TO will have to designate one weekly where, with all the extra brackets, you're going to need more people and helping. No, we should be fine. The reason why the SFAC, I thank you for asking that, Andy, but the reason why this can all work is because I don't need to be in Halifax. I don't need to be in Moncton. I don't need to be in St. John. All those areas, every other area, and the ones I didn't mention, are all run by fine TOs that know what they're doing. Mostly, except for Ethan. No, shout out to Ethan.
Shout out to Ethan.
What I do is I can still get my hands on all the results. That's all I need. If I have the results, I can plug in the numbers with the help of Joey from Newfoundland. Shout out to Joey. And I can accomplish the same thing I accomplished last year, just a little bit more work on our end, which is not that hard. So this way, we're incorporating more areas, we're incorporating more people, we're getting more eyes on ourselves, the SFAC, which is always just what I wanted. And this also, I've talked about this before, this may encourage some more interprovincial rivalries, as some folks might be, you know what, I will go down to that weekly. I will drive down to that weekly. You know what, I wasn't going to, but now I am. So at the beginning of each month, now this won't really apply to PEI and Newfoundland because we rotate, so we'll have only one Street Fighter event each week.
This would be the first time for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick.
Yes, so the weeklies in Newfoundland were considered for points, but they only had Street Fighter weeklies once a month. So with that, in saying that, I have now extended that same process to every province, to every weekly that we have, and that also includes the places that kind of don't have weeklies but do things once a month, like PEI and New Glasgow. Well, PEI has weeklies, but we rotate, just like Newfoundland. So at the beginning of each month, each TO will come to me and say, this week will be the 1 week that is designated SFAC points, because I don't want it to where at the end of the month they just give me an arbitrary weekly. Oh, this weekly had the most numbers, you know, so that will count. No, I want people to look forward to something, even if it's not that much, even if it's just 8 people. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not looking. Mind you, this is not made with the goal that I want to get 30 people out to the weekly and playing. You know, that'd be great. That would be. But that's not like the agenda. The goal here is just to get some more eyes on it, to get more people involved, get more names into the SFAC leaderboards. That's really what it's all about. And like I said, I even talked about this with Hallie, and he thought it was a really good idea because, you know, he likes going to the weeklies, and he said it'd be nice to have like a little, you know, oomph to get attached to the weeklies. And he even said, I don't know if it was him who said this, it was we're all on a voice call. As someone said, it's actually a nice way to maybe travel and see what the weeklies are like elsewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of
You
people don't
go to
know,
the weekly that's worth points to snipe their points so that you can call them all bums later.
which is,
That's
that's what
the
it's all about.
competitive spirit. That's what
That's
brings us together.
the competitive spirit of Atlanta, Canada. Yeah, that's the big that's really the big thing I want to point out.
And that
That
means if you're wanting to come to PEI and call us bums, the bridge is only $20 now. It's not 50 anymore. They cut that down. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, time to drive to Moncton. Exactly, sir.
that
Chris,
time
you
to drive
understand.
to Moncton, drive to St. John. Where I'm not gonna say that there are certain scenes that are weaker than others. I would never say that. But it's now an option. So yeah, that's good stuff. Now that I've mentioned that, those are just the little things we were changing going from season 2025 to 2026. So we are going to now shout out our first big events. Now I know I'm gonna omit an event here, and don't at me. I'm gonna talk about it briefly, but just please bear with me. Of course, Beast of the East.
I'm just
We'll do
gonna.
again just like last year. Will be the soft kickoff, the soft season opener, if you will, for online SFAC.
I'm
And
just
I'm gonna
showing
be
everybody how to
yeah.
sign up because
And,
they don't know how. I'll just
yes,
let them.
many people have
There you
failed this
go.
part
This is
before.
how you sign up.
Uh,
You got to hit both of the check marks. Okay? And then whenever you complete the registration, you'll wait. And now you're good. You got it. You could click on the Twitter or the whatever, the Facebook, show it to your grandma.
right. So yeah, this Thursday, shouts to Hess. It's going to be the soft kickoff launch point of the 2026 SFAC season. So it's going to be good. That's going to be at 8 o'clock, 8:30 Newfie time.
Yes.
Now, the first offline event of the year for the SFAC will go to Halifax.
Halifax.
And that is going to be Face the Facts #2, January 31st. Which is going to be it's a big event. It's got 73 people. The Smashers are backing this event super hard. Shout outs to them. But we're going to be plastering this event everywhere. This event will be the first offline event of the SFAC. So we're looking forward to a solid turnout, solid games. Just
what? No,
a solid time.
no exerd? Ah, jeez. Well, I'll figure something out. We'll sign up for something. We're gonna pay at the venue.
I wanted to give the dubious Malik and the dubious Zayak some money.
I don't know how to play Sun Fiction Psych. I'm sorry. I played the charge character. He's a little weird. Can I bring the
Johnson,
PS5 that has Undernight on it?
all
Yes.
of our PS5s have Undernight on it.
Yeah, all of them have it.
You see, PEI comes equipped, unlike other places.
We do have all of the
Actually,
all of
to
the
be fair,
games.
I can't say that about Moncton. They are incredibly equipped. Shout out to EDM. I'll give you guys that. But yeah, the first big offline event for the SFAC of 2026.
Yeah, January 31st.
#2, yep, January 31st.
Is are the dates for T-Land 2026 out yet, or is that like not?
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that briefly.
Okay.
Briefly. So I know he's in chat. Zach, I will let you, aka Mr. I forgot, the dates for T-Land. Now, I want to give Zach a big shout out actually, because he's been doing a lot of work with T-Land and UDM and the La Hub Weekly, and he's been doing a good job. And I think that scene owes him a lot, because they have a lot of weapons. And I mean that in
They
a good. I mean that in a good way. I
they
mean that in a good
they've got
way
an arsenal
because
of sure,
they have
of
an
course.
arsenal of stuff, and I wanted. I told them, but I didn't want. I didn't. I don't know if I conveyed it enough. The last event of the year, which was Holiday Bash, was really solid. It was a very solid event, very well put together, and Zach had a very solid crew of people helping him out, and that was good. I'm not saying that hasn't existed in the past before, but it was very evident in that event, and that event was well run, and that event was well received. So I look forward to future Moncton events. Now, speaking of that, okay, so I'll just blurt it out. The confirmed date for TLAN is March 6th, 7th, and 8th. So
Oh,
March 6th, 7th, and 8th. Now, I know a bunch of you are going to tell me, hey, how come you haven't really relayed this information out yet? And how come there is no start.gg? Now, I can't go into the exact reasons for that because I'm not a fan of pointing fingers. Fuck you, Dan. I'm not. I really am not a fan of pointing fingers. And before anyone tries to meme it, no, Bernie has nothing to do with it. In fact, Bernie was doing a good job. Has done a good job doing stuff. Now, Bernie has also tweeted personally on some of the things, and I'm just kind of gonna reiterate a little bit of it, which is the Smash stuff is done. Scheduling is done, mostly 99%. FGC, same thing, been done for a while. In terms of what we need to get accomplished, like for concrete things to happen, like scheduling and this and that. That's been done. Now, there have been some other aspects of this event that I'm not going to
Zach
say.
got shot. Hold on.
That's fine.
They
I guess
shot him.
you got to unshoot him. You might even give him mod status. There have been some other aspects of the event that need to get done for us to post, the link, and they haven't been done. And I'm not happy. And I know Zach isn't happy. I know Bernie's not happy. No one's happy. None of the three of us. And I know the other
Everybody's
folks
pissed.
who are part of this project internally are not happy. I wish things were better. I wish we could have gotten the start.gg out like 2 months ago. I really do. I wish we were really ready, like honestly, like 10, 15 days ago. But it hasn't come out for reasons that I can't, like, again, I'm not going to point fingers. But that's just the cards we've been dealt. That's really what I have to boil it down to. And like Zach said, just right now, when we get information that we can gladly and readily put out with the permission, we will tell everybody. I personally, here's what I'll say. You know what? And I think I said this to Shrub earlier, but Shrub probably forgot because Shrub has like 2 brain cells. I'm sorry, Shrub. I dig you.
He's got more.
Shrub, you always win Marvel. All right, you're always winning. I gotta like put you down. Like, hey, like
put her down a little.
Like just a little.
What? You win too much.
If anyone, like, actually is making serious plans to come to T-Land and needs to know dates and times for specific games, I will tell them. Because there's already been people telling me, they're like, hey, like, I don't think I can make Friday, but if the game I really want to play is on Friday, I'm gonna change my plans to suit it. But I need to know. Like, I need to know now. All right?
Yeah.
If you're in that boat, DM me and DM Zach. Because as I said, we're 99.999% done of everything. We just have to hit enter in terms of like scheduling.
Yeah.
Like, we might move a thing 30 minutes up or down. maybe is the most we may change what we already have written down. And exactly what Zach said. We care at this moment in time because people from Quebec, people from Ontario are talking to me about this event, and they really want it to do well because we've been plugging it for a while, and people aren't blind. People have seen the last 2 years of T-Land who haven't been there, and they're like, that looks cool. It does look cool. And then the people who've been there saying, yes, it does look cool because it was cool. And that's great. I think T-Land is a very special event, and I want it to continue to be special. So if anyone really needs to know, talk to me or Zach, and I'll let you know. Be up and up. For the fellow other TOs in here, probably tonight or tomorrow, we'll divulge a little more information that we might be able to have you guys drip feed out to your local communities.
That means get ready to follow the Twitter.
That too, yeah.
Boom. That's where it's going to be.
Atlantic FGC. Again, for anyone who wants updates on when we post things. I know I've been quite busy, but I will begin posting a lot of things right away. Mainly, I'm going to start plugging Face the Facts everywhere. I already said this before, but if you guys thought I was annoying before, well, get ready because I'm going to be way more annoying. Because the amount of you assholes who tell me, I didn't know it was going to happen. And I'm like, I added everyone in the Discord like 2 times this week. And they're like, yeah, but I didn't see it. I'm like, what? You have no idea how many people have been like, well, I wanted to go and I would have brought a full car, but I didn't know. Looking at you, Justin. Anyway,
Justin.
Okay. I digress. That is how it is. I wish it was a better situation, but that's just what we got. Those are the cards we've been dealt, and that's how we got to deal.
That's all we got.
But yeah, that's been a very brief, very very brief overview of the 2025 Street Fighter Atlanta Cup season. Big shout outs also to Steam Tank, who gave out some cash prizes.
Yeah, absolutely. God damn.
Top 8 folks. That he didn't need to do that. That's entirely a donation on his part. That's not money that was raffled in any way. That's just literally coming straight out of his pocket. So good stuff to him. We love that stuff. 2026. It's going to be a great year. Really is. This Thursday is going to be the Beast kickoff. We're going to see a lot of players. I already know we're like 3 people who haven't really played that much last year. We're like, man, I can't wait. That's good. I love that shit. I really do. That's good. It's good stuff. It's going to be good. And Face the Facts, it's going to be great. Personally, I can't wait to go back to Halifax. Love the food. You all know Young Poach is where it's at. Love that shit. And yeah, and listen, I mean it when I say it. What is oh my god. All right, Declan, I'm not gonna is there a sign up for it in the Discord, Andy? Yes, there is, and I'm gonna do it and add everyone again, so don't worry. But just check general. Declan, I just posted it, and I just posted why I can't talk about it any further. I'm not gonna go into it because I already mentioned it. But T-Land confirmed dates. I'll say it one more time: 6th, 7th, and 8th. 6, 7. Fuck you, Dan. But yeah, March 6th, 7th, 8th. Those are the dates. Any more information, let me know. Again, if you guys need really big information, like you need to know because you're making plans what games are on specific days and what specific times are certain games, DM me or DM Mr. I forgot. We will help you out. We want everyone to make this event. It's funny. I went to the cows in Halifax, and I'm like, this is stupid. I can just go to the cows back in PEI. Demo Johnson, I want you to know I fucking hate cows ice cream so much. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nothing on you. Oh, I hate cows. I hate cows. So, hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
They're just so expensive, and you get so little from it too. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I mean, like, I know a guy who's in, like, I got a guy on the inside, you know, and his discount makes it like they don't do any markup. It's like $1. It's all fake. I'm just telling you. It's like, yeah, you go to What's the Scoop in Stratford and you get like more and it's cheaper. It's better. It's awesome.
Before we go, I want to give a brief shout out to the Newfoundlanders who just finished their weekly tonight. The rotation actually was Street Fighter tonight.
Hey.
And big shout out to Shopmaker. Yeah. This month is the only offline event that's going to count this month is Face the Facts. And then February, that's when we're going to start incorporating the weeklies. Anyway, Shopmaker, big shouts to him who won. Second was Big Moist Royce, third Rahem, fourth Cross, fifth Chronic.
What's
I
the
think was
weekly
Suplex. Sunday Game Series, SGS for short. SGS in St. John's, Newfoundland. I'll post the link. It's not a big deal.
I found it.
In St. John's, Newfoundland, Memorial University. But yeah, so big shout out to those folks. I'll be talking
Shouts to
a
Moist
lot of
Royce
tonight.
Big ups. And Shotmaker, of course.
So yeah, for any other questions or concerns listen, Newfoundland is a majestic place.
Fardo, but you gotta come to more events so I can commentate your matches. I'm just saying, it's necessary now. My eyes have been laid upon you. You have to show up now. At least to a PEI event. There will be another PEI event this year. We're still figuring it out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I really want to do a PEI event.
Man, me too. Holy shit!
I think look for
like we have to just
before
wait.
Summer in spring. In spring, we're definitely gonna have one for sure.
Yeah,
we're gonna try our hardest to do one. Anyway, if there was anything that you feel I did not address that you wanted addressed, or you want to know something for anybody about the SFAC or anything I talked about tonight, please just DM me, just reach out to me, or bug me at me. I know I say don't at me as a joke, but I actually prefer you just bug me so I know something happened. The worst thing is when I see people have a conversation and they name drop me as if they think I'm watching them, and I so happen to watch. Like, I'm like, I have no idea that I was part of this conversation. They're like, well, yeah, and then they're like, well, he said it wasn't happening. I'm like, what's this we shit, man? I didn't say that. just the Guilty Gear players.
And if anybody's planning on playing some Guilty Gear Exard, we got Exard going on the 22nd.
Did he post it yet?
Yeah, it's up. Register.
I didn't know. No, but like, okay, I know it's. Oh, is it public? That's what I'm saying. Because I didn't know. I thought he said. I thought he told me the dates weren't up. Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah. Once a month they do Rev 2. Shouts to Kivistor. That's a little plug there.
Shrub, come play Guilty Gear. Come play Exerd. Is a silly game and it's lots of fun.
Alrighty, I think that's it from us.
I'll play 2XKO with you if you play Exard. And that's
Declan, don't say it. Declan, don't say it. I know what you're thinking. Don't say it. Anyway,
shout out to the fucking graphics on this. Alex did an amazing job. Oh my god.
AJC, good fellow.
I need to get back on him for like getting me some graphics for my overlays and stuff, because like I will. You know, I can actually show you guys right now. You know this.
I think before. Hold on, we got to dip. We got to dip.
Yeah. Well, we got to go. We're going. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Whatever. All right. All right. Thanks for showing up,
good.
everybody.
We covered everything. We did
cover everything.